There we go. And here it is. The Monday. The end of a Monday. We made it through the first day of the week. Congratulations. And welcome to a new week. We're going to finish up on the little Irby here, because why not, right? I'm going to just finish up on this little Irby dude. I got a sandwich, his glass. Let's make a new layer for his hat. His hat and tie. And his shoes. His shoes. There's not much left to do on this Irby. Let's make my happy little finished little guy. Of course, you got one droopy little drunken rabbit's ear here. I get rid of some of that down here. Can't drive 55 because it's an Irby. We all know that, though. But that's part of the charm, isn't it? That's part of the charm. Alright. A few more details to go through here now. Whoop. Sleeve caught the tablet there and moved the whole thing on me. There we go. Some details back there, and then you know what, we'll put the shamrocks on this layer too. Those are actually gonna be a little hard. Okay, shamrocks. Pretty much like that. Maybe let's just take this down to a 2.5. I think they don't need to be that detailed either. There, I've just designed patterns on a tie. Actually, didn't turn out half bad. Let's put that little there. Yeah, actually pretty good there. Was there on that layer? Okay, I mean that's fair. Okay. Let's get the drink layer here. We're going to be adults. We're going to color that in with crayon. And that can actually go underneath everything. And we're going to stay inside our imaginary lines here. Even though Guinness is usually almost like an engine oil black. Is a darker color spirit. There you go, drunk little buddy. Yeah, it looks a little better. Do have some gray spots in here. Let's go ahead and cover most of those up. We're not going to color the entirety of the Irby up, I will say that. But I did actually want to, you know what, let's go ahead and just make a color folder now. Like, I had always wanted to do, I was always thinking of just doing some color highlighting on him like this. Only coloring a few specific things. Oh, now we have an Overwatch commercial. And now what, State Farm or something? I don't know. There we go. Now actually, do I want, you know, let's grab this green again. This was a good green color, I think. That one right there. And we're going to use this for just like the hat. The hat and tie were the things I was gonna color. You know, we'll keep using the crayon. Let's bump it up in size though. Why are we using a crayon? Because this is an urban mech, damn it. You know why. You go to a restaurant and the urban mech is the one that gets the kiddies menu in a box of crayons. When they put him in the high chair. He'll be a little fussy at first, but once he starts playing tic-tac-toe and coloring in the dinosaurs, he'll be fine. And of course, he gets all so excited when that macaroni and cheese comes out. So, you know, it's an urban mech. He'll be fine. He'll get over it. Exactly. If you don't love dinosaurs, well, you can get it out. Everyone loves dinosaurs and everyone has a favorite dinosaur. Alright, I want like a deeper emerald green. I think that was actually pretty good. And I'll use that for this band here. And then we'll grab like a lighter green. Maybe like hoping it'll be like a bit of a shiny. Man, it's a little minty there. Yeah, there we go. And that will be this buckle up here. And we'll also use that for the shamrocks here. And of course we have to color in our corned beef sandwich too. Let's see a look here. Well, listen, last week was St. Patrick's Day, so you know we drew ourselves an Irby that was, you know, enjoying the holiday. And now I'm just getting a picture reference for corned beef. Yeah, corned beef is that weird pink color. Yeah, there we go. We'll work with that. Now let's make a sandwich layer. We're not coloring the whole Irby. We're just coloring in, you know, just like the accent stuff, like his beer, his tie, and his sandwich. And you know what? What I should do I'll save a couple of copies of this Irby, and when I post it in the aux, I'll give you guys like a clear transparent one to color in yourself, and I'll post the other one with just the highlights colored in. You can color the rest of the Irby then if you wanted to. Yeah, layers. They're there. They're there. They're good things to use and have. You just have to remember, you know, what layer does what, though. That's the thing. Alright, we got a piece of. We gotta get the cheese colored here. Let's see. Where's the picture I was using originally for my reference? That one. Yeah, here we go. I was kind of using. Yeah, let me copy this image here. That's a big sandwich, but that's the sandwich I was using as reference. And holy smokes, that sandwich is big. Let's go ahead and shrinky dinky that sandwich down. Zoop. There you go, sandwich. Yeah, we got the corned beef, we got some cheese, we got some sauerkraut. So yeah. Let's get a nice cheese color going. I think that's. Let's go a little lighter on the cheese. Actually, no, that could be for the sauerkraut. That color right there. So let's get some sauerkraut colored in. I'm actually gonna put that kind of underneath like this. See some of these other layers here. And then for our cheese, it's got to be a bold yellow to stick out against the sauerkraut, so like that, I think. Yeah, it stands out pretty good. And now for the bread, as far as we all know, to make brown, you take color away from orange. To start, what I'm thinking is, let's go to this layer here. We'll do this. We'll get our base bread color here. Just check something here. Yada yada yada. All right. Anyway. Yeah, we're coloring the rye bread in right now. And then what we're going to do is be a little bit darker now. Get some toasting effect on there. There we go. We go ahead and get rid of that sandwich now. We don't need that sandwich layer. Get out of here. Boop. There, sandwich is gone. And I'll just, let's see here, change canvas size. Grab that corner and pull it in over here. And we'll pull this over here. I was basically starting at the top anyway, so it's pretty good there. And hit that save button right there. I'll save this one as just a straight up Suburban mech. Color that and get that there. And then for glass, here we go. Yep, okay, I just need to lock that in. That black. And then swap here. Do that real quick. And on this layer though, real quick. Get the sloshing out here. There we go. Then save as the color sheet. And if I want, and then if needed later on, I can also just upload a let's just save a transparent copy too. Color trans sheet, there we go. Yes. I'm gonna go back. Everything back the way it was. Right. Yep, there we go. And save that. Go. Check my files. Let's just go ahead and open it up real quick. Yep, there's the PNG. There's the color sheet. And there's a translucent sheet. There we go. Oh, well, didn't mean to pull that apart, but there we go. There we go. Oh, no, don't want to start a new one, so got those all there. Alrighty. Yep. I'm just doing a little bit of touch up on last week's Irby. Okay. We'll close that down. Then let's see here. Wow. No, not doing that one yet. Not doing that one. Yeah. Okay. I can't. We're gonna go back to the suit layer. That suit sketch. Because someone did come up with a good idea for the last free choice. Which does make sense. Because half of these guys, well, 3 out of the 5, wear armor. So it's going to be suits of armor. That's what that's going to be. Let's turn the sketch layers back on. Oddly enough, I can turn her off. Get those 3 turned back on. Jesus. Okay. So her pants, her legs just don't exist on anyone else's layer. That's interesting. That's fine. They don't need to. I don't need to. So let's see. I just need to figure out what kind of poses they should take now. Just gonna do that. Let me check something here. Properties. Here we go. Here we go. Private browser. Secret layer SpongeBob SquarePants. Interesting. Royal Caribbean Band, huh? Dairy Queen Blizzards are only 85 cents. Hell yeah. Anyway, so action poses first. See what we kind of get here. Also, we just get that right. There we go on TV. Not necessarily there are some good ones here. That ain't too bad. Okay, let's kind of pull from these here. That was not that bad. Kind of like some of these too. Go back quite a bit here. So that was pretty good there. Okay. These different Power Ranger ones are a good idea. Kind of go off something like that. I was hoping there might be a little more to look at though on some of these. Yeah, something like that right here. Here we go. Let's open that image in a new tab. Something like that too is pretty good. Let's open that one up in a new tab. Oh, not save, I said open. Why are you trying to save? Interesting. Okay. That keeps trying to save. So that's... Let's open link in new tab then. Open it. Okay, no, fine. Keep being stinky. Won't look at that one then. Okay, well. Hang on. There we go. Okay, that's right. That's right. The Power Rangers took on Godzilla. That's right. That was a thing that happened. That was a thing that happened. I don't know what they did to piss him off, but, you know, good luck with that one. There's a reason he's called Godzilla, I think. And when everybody's a Green Ranger, then nobody is. Simple as that. Oh, didn't mean to click on that one. Let's see, any more of these? Nope, starting to kind of drift away. Ooh, yeah, that's what we can do. Let's go try variant cover here, see what this gives us. That one's okay-ish. Okay, that one's kind of neat. Let's see. Boom Comics. Let's check that one here, because they're the ones that. Of course they did that. Of course they did a variant of their own Ninja Turtles, IDW ones, Ninja Turtle Power Ranger cover. Anyway, that's just silly. None of those are necessarily standing out. I guess not. That one's pretty good, I think. It's got a good size too, so let's go ahead and copy that image. Let's go ahead and just turn that off now. There we go. And back over here. Oh yeah, Archie versus Punisher. Yeah, that was an interesting time to be a crossover. I think what the plot of that one was, there was some kind of criminal or something like that that looked like Archie, and that's what brought the Punisher to Riverdale. Was that? All right, let's go ahead and we're going to turn this. Yeah, apply that transformation. Turn this off for now. And we can turn these sketches off for now too while we take a look at this. Alright, definitely thinking this blue, a red up there can be used. Yeah, then maybe this purple one right there are all ones I can use. So starting with the blue. That one just down here in the corner. Maybe we keep those two in similar poses. No, I'll move the purple one around as needed. So yeah, blue, turn the sketch layers on. Grab the area. I used that one for this. Yep. Okay. Now, granted, we won't need to be worried too much about this front detail because she'll be having her shield up, so. Not that bad. Might shrink portions down, but I think that's not too bad. So you know what? Let's go ahead and actually, yeah, we're gonna do that. And grab this. A little more in line there. No, come on. I'll actually put Reese back here. Because he is more mobile of the characters. Yes, hello there, Diggs. How are you? I mean, as you can see, Diggs, you are also joining me here, if you look very closely at the screen. Or the screen within the screen, on the screen, I should say. Always here with us. It's a surprise for all, yes. I mean, it is the work of art that is yet to be finished, and will ever be completed, but still. God, I forget how many years ago I made the Diggs butt. do want to grab this real quick. I rotated like that. Aha, I'm using the pen, that's fine. That's the crayon. There's the pencil. What I want to try and imply is that... You know what? I can do that like this. I can... Yes, have this try and have this be the right leg. The left leg will be kind of just down then. And I think I said, yeah, the Red Ranger here. Would be pretty good for Phoenix, methinks. Yeah, set that right there. What did I use for him? I used his, yeah, I used his golden visor color. Aha, the pen layer once again. It's fine though. And actually, funny enough that I'm doing this is that Phoenix's armor, you'll see in a minute, but it's actually based off of the Gold Ranger armor. It's kind of like that square half circle look that it had. So it's kind of interesting that I chose a Power Ranger image to kind of finish this off how, so, you know, kind of complete the look. Actually, I don't necessarily need to move that out of there, but... Where is the boy? Not in that folder. This folder. Here he is. There's Phoenix. Let's go ahead and flip him. I said flip. You're this fear, the award, flip, 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 flip. Try to get a better idea how to do his head from the side. Let's see here. Yeah, I know Archie versus Punisher was real. Archie meets the Turtles. I mean, I kind of believe that. Archie Comics did do the Turtles comics for a while. Okay, it wasn't verses, it was meets. Archie never versed anyone. He met a lot of people. I think there was also an Archie meets the Predator comic out there, something like that. Let me see if I'm hallucinating that real quick. Okay, no, that's real. That is dead ass real. Hang on a second here. Yeah, no, go ahead and bring this back up. No, that's dead ass real. Archie meets the Punisher, right there. That is a real horrifying thing, and apparently there's a sequel to it. Apparently, huh? Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, that's just silly though. That's just a silly cover though. Anyway, go ahead and take that back down. Now I do know, I do remember that the Sonic comics, they crossed over with the Image comics. Spawn was there, I think, for 2 panels. But Savage Dragon, I believe, was the main crossover with them. The Max was there for like a panel. But yeah. Alright, let's get rid of some of the noise real quick before we start drawing. There we go. Just using that pen again. I might actually use that as the top, so that here has got to be redone. Maybe bringing that visor a little bit too far back, but things can always be adjusted. Even then, that would actually go right about there. Yeah, that's actually fine like that. What I can do with his neck. There, kind of work it in like that. I can close this gap up a little bit. There we go. That's coming along. What time we got here? Oh, 6:55. You know, let's go ahead and take our break here. Give my hand a chance to kind of rotate and stretch around. So we're going to take a few minutes while I do that. I'm going to swap commercial breaks real quick on you guys on the fly. So I'll see you in a few minutes.
Sheesh. Whoever heard of a duck getting seasick? We'll be back in a jiffy.
Soon all the toes will be mine! Never!
Howdy, partner. We'll be back right after these important messages.
Check it out. My mom thinks I like Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats because
It's so nutritious. He's very smart. And he knows I'm
way out there. Frosted Mini Wheats are totally cool. Just scope out all that
whole grain goodness, perfect for a growing boy who is
so into this sweet frosting. How could you not like this cereal?
He's so sensible.
Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats taste so good, who cares why Mom likes it? Besides, it's still part of this complete breakfast.
He's going to be a scientist, you know.
Not. So there I was with Bunny, mixing up some quick.
Don't forget to clean the basement.
When magically we were in the dungeon of the evil witch Creepella, who was stealing all the world's chocolate. We have to stop her,
I'll distract her with some quick.
and I'll tie her up.
Chocolatey quick? Looks like she's tongue-tied, too.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
Nestle Quick. It's magic in the making.
You got a lot to do before lunch. Energy is what you need. You can fill your bowl with Cheerios. You got a lot to do before lunch. You can fill your bowl with Cheerios. You got a lot to do. Do it cool. Do it right. Do it now before lunch.
A bowl of Cheerios is part of this complete breakfast.
'Cause you got a lot to do before lunch.
Join Seymour and his hungry friend Junior for the show that bites you right on your funny bone. Little Shop, next on Fox.
Hey there, City Slickers. We're sending you back to your program.
Yeah, those old commercials are fun. You know, maybe I'll do a stream where I just go through another one of my cartoon segments. I'll just do a stream of cutting the commercials out. We'll just watch commercials for like, an hour and a half and comment about the TV shows that we go through. The same kind of sales pitch that led to the RoboCop cartoon, that led to the Conan the Barbarian cartoon, that led to the Police Academy cartoon. It's the 80s. It's called Cocaine. Money. That's the kind of drug. Can't believe you had to ask that. What kind of drug? 80s, it's cocaine. All right, let's see here. let's fancy this hand up a little bit. Alright, got that. Let's go ahead and that is a weird looking. Turn this off real quick. That is a weird looking hand how they've got that. But luckily, I should have an assisted fix for that. Give me a couple minutes here. Okay, that might not necessarily have been the best. I did some shopping over the weekend, and well, they had a hand there, so I bought it for a wooden hand, a posable wooden hand. So I bought that in hopes of using it for art reference, but it does not have a full range of dexterity. So it's not necessarily like one of those fancy art hands. It's just a really kind of basic hand. You put it in basic poses, but like can't really get it to hold anything or something like that. So it's not going to necessarily work for this at the moment. So that's fine though. I'm going to do a quick look here though. Yeah, just very basic wooden hand. Pretty much that. Let me just show you guys real quick here. Yeah, pretty much this one right here. I've got opened up the artistic mannequin hand. There's a very basic wooden hand, like the heel of your palm doesn't really move or anything like that. It's just very basic finger motions and things like that. You really can't, like, believe it or not, your hand has a lot of movement, more movement than what some people actually realize it has. You know, it's more just simple open and close, like just your thumb alone, you can roll that thing around to really move it and wiggle it. So that's why hands are weird and hard to duplicate when drawing. They can just be so weird. They really need to fucking stop it. Anyway, back to Phoenix here. We'll have his crossbow retracted into his arm a bit, since he's currently not using it, and it would get in the way of his wrist movement. There we go. Just kind of do that. Won't be bad. Okay, he's gonna two-hand this thing. Even though Phoenix had busted-ass defenses, this also wasn't against just laying the hurt on when he needed to. Like, I played him in a somewhat high-level campaign. I think we were level 15 or something like that. And with how the DM allowed us to kind of kit our characters out, I think he ended up having like 24 AC. So like physical attacks, yeah, no, they weren't gonna get through to him anytime soon, I'll say that. Yeah, the biker mice from Mars. You're thinking of the street sharks, the sharks that swim in pavement. And besides, that was all just to compete with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The only thing that really did was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Street sharks, biker mice, cowboys of Moo Mesa. You know, they all tried, but the turtles just wouldn't stop. The turtles just kept going. Turtle power was running rampant. Actually, what I think I can do this here. Let's swing this up a little sooner like that. And even then, a lot of those shows, their goal was just to be around for one season, make the money they could, and then dip. And especially like the Saban clones that he did. Like Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers. He just basically just clone what he did with Power Rangers, get the money, and dip. He had his cash cow, but he wanted more. Dear God, Hyman Saban, like, ugh. The story's about that man. He, listen. He even straight up admits it. He is your stereotypical, I like money, Jewish businessman. Stories about him, and oh my goodness. Yeah, we are VR Troopers. Alright, well. Yeah, again, funny thing that Maria's shield's gonna take up. Oh, I put that in Phoenix's lair. That's fine. You know, we'll just. So I'll just go forward here. Go with the proper layer. And just trace over. Even though that's not the tracing tool. It was the eraser tool. There. There's the trace. There's a writing utensil. There we go. We'll go back to Phoenix's layer and then get rid of that. So it doesn't need to be on his layer. You have your own layer, Maria. Right now, we need to. Ooh, maybe I should have kept that on Phoenix's layer. Because that is looking way too low. So actually, let's go ahead and undo that. Undo the tracing. Go back to Phoenix's layer, and then we'll just. There we go. Now we'll go back to Phoenix's lair. Let me get rid of the shield. Now it's going to take some detail away from her, but she did do good with that shield, so. Go ahead and turn Phoenix off. Let's go ahead, open this folder. There's that picture I did years ago. Basic armor for her. So we've got... Okay, so open armor front like that. That would translate to something like this for the front. Yeah, I guess I could have just flipped the image up here. That would give me the better idea of how to get that side. Now, if you ask me, one of the shows, I don't think it was Saban. One of the shows I wanted to get the figures for was, I believe it was called Super Samurai Cyber Squad. Those look pretty bitchin'. That show was pretty cool looking. I do remember trying to follow that show and things like that. I still gotta figure out some kind of sound dampener for my damn keyboard microphone. Tried to fix it yesterday, but no, it ain't got jack on it. Discord's built-in sound canceling works, but ain't really nothing for let's bring this back. See how they have that Ranger positioned. And on the sketch layer, I can go ahead and turn that off there. I mean, obviously with a shirt, it's easier to do that, but with her armor, I'm going to need to turn that off. Too much background noise for that. Yeah, that was the adaptation for Gridman. Again, I don't think that was a Saban. I think that was someone else trying to compete with Saban when they were coming out with VR Troopers. Alright, so okay, yeah, that's how I can do that. So But she's got her big... Those are actually more supposed to be like on top of her shoulders. They don't really go all the way around. There we go. Kind of like that. Yeah. Let's clean up in here a little bit. Actually, it's kind of good that I used crayon for the basic lines here. It gives me a good idea of what I can get rid of when I try and clean up a little bit here. Oh, here you go, frickin' hand being all weird. That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, go back. Take that all back. This part does come up to her wrist. It doesn't go all the way to the elbow. That's what it is. Yeah, what's wrong about that? It's Deke Entertainment. If you don't know how to pronounce Deke, what are you doing? It's Deke. D-I-C. Deke. Go ahead and get rid of all that here. Right, before we go, we've only got a few minutes left. Go ahead, get our pen here. Bigger. Maybe we used a marker for that? I probably used a marker. suit of armor is the free space here. We'll go ahead and save that, I think. No, yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here. As always, thanks for joining me here on Monday. Should be back come Saturday. I don't think there are going to be any issues. So until then, you guys take care of yourselves. And have yourselves a good week. Take it easy.